welcome to our webinar on the BSc Honours in Management Practice. This is an executive development program for managers and leaders, and we are fortunate to have the beautiful and talented Jeanette Sherman, who is the super course director, with us today as well. So she's going to also be co-delivering this session with me, which is fantastic because we actually co-supervise this program. We're both course directors. I oversee the second year and Jeanette oversees the final year. So basically, the point of this webinar today is to give you a little bit more information about the program, why you should take the program, what the program entails, and the benefits to you and your organization. So overall, the benefits of studying at Ulster University. Again, an excellent chance, a range of courses within the university, getting that competitive edge in employment. We do see an increase in confidence in the aspiring managers and leaders that do our program. Jeanette, you would say, I would say probably about 30%, 40% within the year after they do the program either receive a promotion, or a lot of them while they're doing the program receive a promotion or go to a new position. Wouldn't you agree with that, Jeanette?
I would, Nancy. I think it's important to note as well that, you know, people looking at this will see it's a BSc and it's not actually a postgraduate program. We have a lot of people participate on the program that have degrees, but they tend to be in a different technical area. There might be an architect, nurse, we've had veterinaries, we've had surgeons, we've had all sorts of people that have done a degree many years ago, or maybe not done a degree at all, but maybe have had industry experience. So there's a real eclectic mix of participants, which makes the program really rich. And yes, people come on the program, we've seen increases in confidence, self-esteem, and also confidence in applying for jobs that they probably would never have applied for without having this particular program. And some of them actually say, you know, in fact, 2 of our final year students this year have changed jobs, and another guy has been promoted within his job. So it does give you the tools and techniques to be able to have a look. And Aaron's just joining us now, so Aaron would be a good one to talk about changing jobs and promoting whilst on the BSc. Hi, Aaron.
We'll let Aaron get Aaron get settled in. We'll let him get settled in, and then we'll ask him to share his thoughts. Personal fulfillment. Again, top A experts. A lot of the lecturers on this course are pracademics, as we like to call ourselves. We have industry experience, and we've come into academia. So we're bringing in a whole host of experience, and a lot of our background is very diverse. I'm from the States. Jeanette's from England. Our team has a wide range of backgrounds and experiences. You know, we both have experience in the third sector, the private sector, the public sector, you know, and a range of locations as well globally. You know, I've worked literally in all parts of the world. So again, you're being taught by people that have some experience as well as that academic underpinning. Supported study environment. Ulster are fantastic at providing a physical good environment, but also an online environment. We've been doing our classes online virtually for the last year, and we have still used a lot of group work, a lot of polls, a lot of engagement still online, and we're hoping to get back to face-to-face. Our intention is to get back to face-to-face this academic year. And again, it is about getting that academic qualification. We do find a lot of people come to us for this program specifically with experience, but maybe a lack of qualifications. And maybe, as Jeanette said, you have an engineering background, or you have a law background, but maybe you want to get that business experience and that general management leadership qualification. And again, we have great links with industry bodies and employers. We have a lot of guest speakers. Normally per module, we normally have 1 guest speaker come in. So again, you're getting that experience. And we also have sometimes our students as guest speakers, you know, because they may have expertise in a certain subject area that they can share with the rest of the class. And there is a lot of peer-to-peer learning throughout the course. It's a really important element because we have students coming from such diverse backgrounds and diverse sectors. That element of peer-to-peer learning and sharing with each other and learning the content, discussing it, discussing our experiences through it, really brings the program to life, and that really what sets us apart from other programs. And you can see that we have over 200,000 alumni worldwide. What I love about Ulster, it's about that practical application of the content. So it's not about giving you that academic content that you go, okay, this is great, this is this academic content. way up here, I have no idea what I'm going to do with that. You know, it's about applying it. And I think that's really, really important. And all your assessments and your assignments ask you to apply the content to your own organization. So it's valuable learning and practical application of that, which can make a real difference to your organizations and to yourself. And I think that's why we see a lot of people probably getting promotions, because they're making a difference to their organization through the course. And we do say, you know, work on your assignments. It's not about doing an assignment to complete it. It's about doing an assignment to add value to your organization while also completing it for the university.
I think it's important to point out here as well, Nancy, there's no exams on this qualification. It is all work-based assignments, and it's work-based assignments that add value to not only your own personal development, but also to the organisational development. So there's an opportunity for you to discuss with your line managers or your heads of departments, or whoever it is that you work with within your team, that when you're studying particular topics, you can identify maybe an opportunity within the organisation that you can apply the assessment, and that is really, really important. And again, as Nancy said, it really makes us stand out from other programmes who have exams, and it may be not as practical as this particular programme.
I think it as well. It gives people space and time to work on things that they know they need to do in their business, but they just don't have the time to do. And I think this allows them that space and time to reflect and think and critically evaluate what you're doing, and look at what's best practice and how can it change what we're doing to align it to best practice. So we find our students find it really interesting, you know, naturally as well, because they're reading about stuff that they want to make a difference in their organizations. There's more meaning to it, you know, so it really can make a difference. And again, that's just to say we work with a broad range of industry and sectors as well within the course. And I think that's what makes it come to life. It is about looking at the opportunities and challenges in an ever-changing business environment. I think I'm a lecturer on the future work. I think more than ever, we need that ongoing continuous learning, and it's never been more important. And it is about looking at business management, leadership, digital literacy. We just revalidated this program this past year. Jeanette and I went through a very rigorous program to get this revalidated. And they did say, the external evaluators did say this program's fantastic because it does allow for those older, maybe mature learners who have lots of experience, but maybe not a qualification, but also that chance to sit back and learn about management and leadership and look at best practice. And it's about your personal growth as well as your organizational development. Aaron, I know you're there. Aaron, do you want to say a few words here? I'll mute myself.
Hi guys. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Don't know what to.
We can hear you, Aaron.
Hopefully
We can see you too.
Good to see us. What is it? So you just look me to fill in a wee bit of my experience, Nancy, or?
Yeah, if you just want to say about your experience with the program. Aaron's just finishing up the qualification. So yeah, if you can maybe just talk a little bit about, you know, your experience on the course and how it has benefited you and your organization.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so I came into the course effectively. The company I work for were big on sort of personal development, so it was put to me to research a few courses that I wanted to go on, and this was one of the ones that I came back with. Now, for me, I come from a sort of engineering background, and have been involved with management in a production, fast-paced manufacturing facilities for years. Previous to that, I ran my own landscaping business. So for me, really, I really just wanted that. You know, I came through education and did a foundation degree, but never really any further qualifications. And for me, it was a desire to go back and to learn, to better myself, and through learning more about management. For me, I found it a very, very helpful course and program. And again, if I'm going to be brutally honest, I don't do well in the exam side of things. I just struggle to nail down and get it. So for me, one of the biggest aspects that has appealed about the course was the fact that there were no exams, that it was a work-based and assignment-based program, which, especially when you're trying to balance work life and education at the same time, you know, we've professional lives and we've family lives, and then trying to squeeze assignments into things, and just especially given the last year and the effects that COVID has had and the pandemic has had on us. And I found it a very, very useful and great course to be on, because you are supported the whole way through it very well by the lecturers. They're always at the end of an email or a phone. And I know for some of them, probably sick of seeing me pop up about certain things, but no, but like it's a very well supported and well run course. And again, just the just the support for it is there. From an actual module side of things, I've found I have worked in an environment that will be very sort of 1980s management style, and I recently moved to a company that is very forward thinking. And for me, I maybe I'm just talking from my own experience, but I think especially the future of work and change management modules are key going forward, that we have an understanding of them, because our society is changing, our culture is changing, and it's no longer the days where people come into a job and that's the job for life. It's now people are moving on left, right, and centre, and as managers or as potential managers or people who are interested in pursuing that career path, it's important that we do address and learn about these things. Again, I can't speak highly enough about the course and the modules. Everything is so well covered. As Nancy was saying, and as Jeanette was saying, you know, the application there to apply specifically these things to our organisations that we're maybe involved with, it speaks volumes. It's great for us as individuals on our academic path. It's great for the organisations we're involved with. It's just really it's forced me to expound my thinking around things. I know I was involved with a lot of part of what my role was with my last company I worked for was sort of continual improvement, and a big part of that has, from what I've been able to bring to the business, was from the actual course itself that I'm doing. So yeah, again for me, it really has boosted my development, and it's tailored. For me, I've come into this looking to sort of I've management experience as in managing people. But for me, it's just what I loved about it was how the modules are set up. So they're giving you an insight into what you need to know. So for example, we did a module on accountancy and an introduction to accounting. And for me, it was very overwhelming, because it was it was a very mathematically focused thing, but it was delivered in such a way that it was enough to allow us to have the understanding we need as managers to go forward, but without sort of throwing a textbook at you and saying, here's what you need to know. It really highlighted the key areas for us as managers to be able to know, move in. And it's not just with accountancy, it's with all the modules we have covered. And yeah, like, again, I would sort of encourage people who are thinking about it to definitely go for it 100%, because it will be really good. As Jeanette said, I should have it finished and submitted by now, but I'm in the closing stages of my dissertation project. And for me, I started my dissertation in one company and based quite a lot of it in it, and then halfway through it, I've moved to a new job. So it has forced me to sort of rewrite part of it. But again, like my academic supervisor, he's been great. He's been at the end of the phone call, he's been listening to me, he's been reassuring me as I've been just panicking from someone who's never done a dissertation before and sort of panicking a wee bit about it. They've been very reassuring, very supportive, and again, I know they've been very flexible with myself and others in the class. So
Yeah.
I couldn't recommend it more.
Thank you very much for those kind thoughts. I think it's important to point out here as well, before we moved on, that the course looks at stuff from an operational level, but it also allows you to look from a strategic level as well. There's a question there for you, Aaron. Have you done a degree before?
Yeah, so I had studied previous to this. My business I ran was in landscaping, so I had done a foundation degree in landscaping. Now it wasn't, and again, it wasn't there was no exams. It was a very, very entry level sort of qualification. So for me, this is the first actual degree that I've ever done. and this is from someone who's sort of, I could apply, let's just say I could apply myself in school, but I would have been far more interested to do other things or be out working, you know. And for me, as I say, the big thing, the big draw for me, if I'm being brutally honest with you, is there's no exams, and I find it easier to sort of plan out and split up the time that I'm putting into my assignments rather than try and cram it all in for a 2 or 3 hour exam. You know, I find that personally easier to deal with. And as I sort of touched on earlier, managing that work-life balance. We all have things that are going to pull us from left to right, whether it be home life and family life, whether it be work. And throwing into the mix of education, it's a great way to be able to comfortably complete the qualification.
Brilliant. That's great, Aaron. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. I just thought it was nice. It's nice having Aaron here, and I appreciate him taking the time, because I think it's nice to get, because Jeanette and I, you know, are obviously going to say good things about the program, but it's nice to have a student who's actually on the program and hear about your background, Aaron, and your experience as well. And he's done well for himself as well with progressing, haven't you, Aaron, as well? I think that's, you know, so it was great to see. We love when our students progress. So who is this course for? Well, Aaron sort of talked to you a little bit about his background, but it is about aspiring managers and leaders who maybe want to advance their career. Maybe they just feel like, do you know what, I just need to develop myself further. I need to look at leadership management. I found myself in a leadership management role, but maybe I don't have any learning on leadership and management best practice in my background, and it's maybe I want a qualification. Maybe I feel like, oh, you know what, I really want to get that BSc, you know, I haven't gotten it before and I want to do it, and again, so lots of different reasons why people come on the course, and that gives us our eclectic mix of people on the course that makes it interesting and dynamic. So I'll give you a program overview. So the structure of year one, there's no modules taught at level 4. We do a portfolio of evidence, and we help you with that. And that's called an accreditation of prior learning, or an APL. And we help you and support that. That's like a portfolio. If anyone's ever done like an MVQ portfolio, we give you the template for that to complete that. Year 2 there, you can see the modules. So these are taught. So everyone who goes into the program, we start right at year 2. Because the people coming on this course have experience, we're able to jump right into year 2. And you can see the modules there: personal effectiveness and resiliency, leadership, entrepreneurial practice. We normally start with future of work as the first module. Contemporary marketing, again, we've added a lot of digital marketing there, and coaching and mentoring as well. So that's the first year 2 of the program. And then you jump into the final year, and I'll let Jeanette talk a little bit more about the final year.
We've actually done quite a lot of thinking about the whole program. As Nancy said earlier on, we've been through a massive review and revalidation, and the dissertation, I'm sure Aaron will be delighted to hear he's finished his, but we've actually removed it from the new program, based on our customer feedback and feedback from our network of employers. So again, it's a taught module. All the modules are 20 credits. So we're teaching 2-day modules. It may be one day, 1 week, another day the following week, depending on the timetables. We found, again, from feedback through the revalidation, that a couple of day block teaching is the most sought after. It allows people to organise their working and family life. So the taught modules, as you can see there, there's 6, and there's 6 in year 2. So we've introduced digital transformation, which is a new module. People, performance and corporate advantage, again, is a new module. We've moved strategy and change management. They were actually at level 5, which is year 2, but we've moved them up because we think they're more strategic, and we're looking at business research. So the year 3 modules are all about strategic intent, whereas you'll see on the year 2 modules, they're more about operational and personal development. So we're developing you as an individual, and then we're looking to develop in terms of strategy and the business and how everything else fits in. So you've got digital transformation, strategy, change, accounting, people performance, and then business research. And we tend to kick off with the business research, because that then allows you to use those tools and techniques for the rest of the year. So we haven't got a big dissertation and a business research project in the new programme, which again came from the feedback. So it's an exciting programme. We love it. We're very passionate about it, Nancy and I. And as Nancy says, we unfortunately haven't had a face-to-face graduation, but it's absolutely amazing when people come on the programme, and then when we see them leave at graduation, they are completely different individuals, every one of them. So it's a really sort of, sometimes it's a life-changing experience. And don't be worrying if you haven't done a degree before. We wouldn't allow you onto the programme if you don't meet the criteria. Some people have years and years of experience, and that experiential learning is just as important as having a degree maybe many years ago.
Yeah,
is that okay, Nancy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think with the blocks as well, so if you looked at the timetable for this year, we have them on Fridays, because again, based on feedback, Jeanette and I did extensive stakeholder engagement. So we practiced what we preached for the revalidation, and actually spoke with our key stakeholders and lots of students and asked them their opinions, and they do tend to like the Friday full day. So it's 2 days, as Jeanette said, per module. And we're planning on this year doing first day face-to-face and the second day of the block online, because we have found we will have students coming on the program from all over Ireland, all over from Northern Ireland, and for them it's just having 1 day face-to-face and 1 day online. It's just a little bit easier, as well with family responsibilities and everything else. So that is the plan for this year. And we'll see how it goes. It's like everything, we always assess as we go, take feedback and see what works for everybody, you know. Some people really love the online learning. Some people prefer face-to-face. It's very different. So if we do 1 day of each, it keeps everybody happy.
And I think, you know, this is the formal process, but we do have webinars and different, you know, assignment clinics and different things to support and help you along the line, but they're more fluid. We sort of put those on whenever they're required, really.
Yeah. Yeah, and we do a lot at the start too, Jeanette, with the students. Like we do a good library induction, you know, our librarian, you know, just getting you back into, because I know everyone always gets a little bit nervous about coming back if they haven't been in an academic setting in a while. They get a little bit anxious or nervous about it, but we do a thorough induction with you. Our librarians are amazing and fantastic. They work with you. The great thing is we have so many resources electronically, that you don't need to go into the library. You can work from home. Nothing says that you have to go in, although I know some people might say, oh, I prefer to go in the library, but it's really your choice. So it is really, you customize your learning the way that it suits you best. And it is about that practical application, as Jeanette and I've said earlier. It's about growing you as individuals and supporting the growth of your own organization. And we've covered a lot of this already about those work-based application, but it is about you coming out with a range of future work skills and digital skills, and then just improving your business acumen and your industry insight. So, you know, improving your analytical and critical thinking, problem solving. It is, and Jeanette will go on about this in our leadership module, but it's about being able to be curious and innovate. And that curiosity is really important. And I think something we do, Jeanette, throughout the course is try and create that love of learning. And that is the future work. That is what we all have to keep doing. And even ourselves as lecturers, we have to keep learning. We have to keep being curious. And it's really, really important that we maintain that even after we leave the program. But it also means you're making informed decision making, and that you feel confident in that. I understand best practice, and now I know what I want to do and how I'm going to do it, and it gives you that level of confidence in your decision making. Awareness of self and others, and that ability to influence and work with others in an authentic and social responsible way. And as we said, we do a lot of group work, getting you work with your peers throughout the course as well, but also helping you to understand your role as a manager and leadership within your organization, and how to bring people along on the journey, keep them engaged, keep them productive, getting the most out of your teams as well. Jeanette, do you want to add anything to that? I can't hear you, Jeanette.
Sorry. I think as part of the revalidation, we looked long and hard and thought with our stakeholders and with our students with regards to the vision. What do we want? What sort of graduate do we want at the end of this program? Excuse me. And I think what we settled on is that we want to create, develop, grow, you know, leaders and managers that are digitally enabled, that are strategic in their vision, but importantly that they are authentic leaders and this social responsibility. So, you know, we have a very clear vision of the type of graduates that we want at the end of the program, and I think that's really important to fit in with the world that we're living in at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's about developing you as you and not feeling you have to mold into something else. And I think that's something that's really important to all of us, that, you know, it is about you being unique and being yourself and developing yourself authentically. I feel like it's okay to be me, you know. There's just some student feedback that we thought was interesting. I'm not going to read those. You can just take a moment and read those. But we do try and make our classes as engaging as possible, engaging in the students, getting you to talk, to share, group activities, peer-to-peer learning, maybe reading an article, discussing it. So again, reflection is a huge element of the program, and reflecting, and sometimes in your assignments too, you have reflective pieces where you reflect on your learning. How did this module impact you? And it's really important as well. And this one is when we're looking at the benefits of the course. Again, and I'll just give you a minute to read this as well. But we do find a lot of our students progress, are promoted or get a new job, again, because they have that confidence, but also they have that belief in themselves and they understand best practice. Aaron, do you want to say anything about your own benefits?
Sorry. Yeah, like again, for me, I come from a similar situation where, you know, I've management experience there for years, but never had the qualification. And recently I've moved from one company to another, and again, it's a step forward for me I've come from a sort of production and quality manager background to I am now a plant manager. So basically, myself and another person, we're the operations managers for the whole site. And again, a large part of, you know, well, it's not, I wouldn't say a large part of it, you know, nowadays companies are looking for that sort of, it's a bit of that sort of paradigm where people want experience, but they can't employ without maybe a qualification. And without the qualification, you know, I wouldn't have probably had a look in at this job. But the fact that I'm completing it this year was, for me, was one of the major factors that actually ended up me being able being made an offer and subsequently accepting that offer. Again, and they were very interested to find out the specific modules that I studied, you know, and again, it's maybe something, you know, a lot of times people look at a resume or a CV and they'll just look to see the actual degree and what the subject was in. But it's the first company that I've actually really spoke to, and the more I'm involved with it, more recruiting, it's starting to become more. I think people actually want to know what your degrees were made up of. And for me, being able to talk about the future of work, change management, accountancy, improving organizational performance, they were massive things for me, especially in my interview. So again, just to sort of reiterate what the guys have been saying here, I find it, for me, in the personal experience side of things, that has been a great benefit and probably one of the deciding factors in actually being able to progress in my career. And I know I've had people come to me and I've recommended it tenfold, again, based on everything the guys are saying.
Brilliant. That's great, Aaron. Thank you. I think as well, there's a lot of flexibility in the course too. You know, some people will come on and do just the second year of the course and leave with an advanced diploma, and there's a lot of exit points. There's a lot of flexibility on this program as well, that it can sort of be customized. So again, it goes back to that customization of your learning and customization of your assignments, so it suits you best. There's a link there to apply for the course. So it's there for you. We are still taking, we have a few spots left for this year. So feel free to go onto that link. Again, in general, no closing date for most courses. Applications are rolling. So again, places are limited. We should say we keep this cohort to a small number, normally between about 15, no more than 20 typically for our cohorts, and that's intentional to keep it to a small group. So it isn't a big lecture hall that you're in. It's a very smaller classroom. It just means that the learning can be more individualized, and the lecturers get to know you a lot better than if it's a big learning environment with lots of students. So it is about that close-knit, hands-on. The lecturers do get to know you really well, and it is a little bit of a family feel, like everyone gets to know each other really well. And we do say, you know, share your learning with the peers. If you read really interesting articles, share it. You know, it isn't about, it's not a competition, it's more about everybody supporting each other to get through it, because, you know, we know people are coming on the course with families, with work priorities, as Aaron was saying. You know, there's a lot going on for everybody, so it is about making it fun and enjoyable too. It's not, you know, it's about learning the content, but also enjoying ourselves while we're doing it, and making it interesting. So it's not, you know, so you feel sometimes when you make it fun and interesting, it doesn't feel stressful, it doesn't feel, you don't feel as much pressure, and it makes it enjoyable. When we're enjoying it, it makes learning so much easier. Okay, so there's the fees and the finance there as well, for the module pricing. So basically for this course, it's just under £10,000, so it's 9,560 for the full course. Now that's the cheapest you'll get a BSc as well, and that's for local people applying for it. But it is, when you compare it to other BScs, and it's very quick, folks. It's 2 years. You might say, oh my gosh, 2 years sounds like a lot, but you'll get through it. The group get you through it, your lecturers get you through it, the course directors get you through it. But it is a worthwhile 2 years, and it'll fly. It's the quickest time. And with fees and finance, you know, you can pay your part-time fees in 10 monthly installments. Again, part-time, you get a 5% fee discount. So there is a lot of support there as well with their fees. Sometimes employers support students with paying part or all of their fees as well, so that's an option as well. And again, just with COVID-19, we are just following it safely along the pandemic, and we keep adapting as we need to, and we're flexible. As Aaron was saying earlier, we try and be flexible as well as we need to, and we are hoping to welcome back students on campus this year, and we're looking forward to that. But again, we just stay in line with the guidance that we're provided. The university has been very good. You can get lateral flow tests. You can also we do asymptomatic testing as well at the university, so they've been very hands-on with coronavirus. And just get in touch. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch. Belfast campus, we're hoping, Stephen, we have a beautiful new Belfast campus that we're hoping to get into, but I think realistically, Stephen, it's going to be January before we get into the Belfast campus. But we will be in the Belfast campus this year, so come January time, your classes will start in the Belfast campus. We'll be in Jordanstown for the fall semester. Good question. Anybody, any other questions? Thank you very much for joining it. Really appreciate it. Can I thank Jeanette and Aaron as well for coming on? It's nice to have other people presenting as well. Really appreciate your time. Folks, if there is anything else, please feel free to get in touch. Aaron, Jeanette, any last words before we say goodbye?
No, I think we've covered pretty much everything, and like I say, if they want one-to-one, we're happy to meet for coffee. Now we can meet for coffee and chat over the program if that's what you require.
Brilliant. That's great. Thanks everyone for joining. Take care. Have a lovely evening.